Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here doing a double build today. We're checking out Carebotz and Silverframe. These were both provided to me by the Game Development World Championship, and if you don't mind, I need to do the little spiel about them first. The Game Development World Championship is a competition where independent developers can enter their games for exposure, prizes such as visits to studios, software licenses, publishing deals, and what have you. And there's also a weekly popularity poll for people to go and vote on. Participation is free for all independent developers and players, and all you need to do is go to the website in the description. It's also the GDWC.com if you don't want to go that far down. Okay, with that, let's take a look at Carebotz. This game's really weird. Despite the fact that this game is actually out in full release, it's still got a couple of things going on which I really don't like. It feels like it's still in a bit of early access. Like, for example, here's a little thing about the Unity engine. It has the ability to pump out certain predefined resolutions, but depending on how many resolutions and frame rates that your monitor can support, you'll end up having multiple resolution. It's the same resolution, but with multiple frame rates. So whenever you come down here to resolution and you try and change the resolution, it takes you multiple presses to get anywhere. Like, I'm hammering away at the left key on my keyboard here, and it's taking several, presses in order to get from one resolution to another. It's really weird. Also, this glitch effect. For the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to leave it on, but you might have seen it a couple of times in the background while I was doing the spiel there, because, yeah, there it is again. Because it's weirdly annoying. I wouldn't expect it to be that in-depth. I could understand it being just like a little bit on the sides or what have you, but that blanks out the entire screen for a couple of frames practically. I don't know why he bothered with that. And the rest, well, we'll get into it. So, I don't really have a controller to use right now, so I've been using the keyboard, and of course I picked two games that are both absolutely awful with keyboard, but frankly this game isn't too bad with just the keyboard, but I just gotta say, even if I did have a keyboard, it wouldn't fix the major problem that I have with it. And when it decides it wants to load, we'll get into it. So here we are. This is your robot, he is a worker bot, and this is your map. You explore this map via using your worker bot. Your worker bot controls like a thrust game, you know? Where you've got, wasn't it Z for, no, it's F, there we go, it's F. It controls like a thrust game, or asteroids, but with gravity, where you use the up button to thrust up, you use the left and right directional keys in order to set your direction, and you can use the down button in order to generate some backwards force as well. And then you've got your workstation platforms here, which heal you up and allow you to go to the workbench, which allow you to craft items and upgrades for those items, and then equip them to certain keyboard keys. So I've got a few things here. Like, I've got not enough resources, oh dear. So I've got a big booster. I've got, I can't even, proximity, it's a mine, yep, and the maintenance beam. You need the maintenance beam, so you've basically got 3 slots, and you can remap these to any key that you like. So I'm just going to go with S here, and by any key that I like, I mean A, S, D, and F. Odd choice, but okay. There's also the log console, which gives you the text logs. But the weird thing about logs in this game is anytime you actually find one, the entire thing scrolls by your screen, and you have to scroll back up in order to read it. It's kind of bizarre. It's one of those weird things that you'd expect to be fixed in a early access comment, because it was like one of the first things I noticed. So it's a bit surprising that it was left to do that for so long. And there's a couple of other things like that too. Like, for example, this light beam here goes through certain walls. Like, you can see here that it's gone through that wall. So it looks like you can pass through that wall because the lights pass through it, right? Well, that's not actually the case. Because sometimes the light can just pass through a wall and you won't be able to get through it. This also happens, oddly enough, with, whatchamacallits. Enemies. It'll look like they won't be able to, like, go through a wall or something. but then they'll just magically manage to get through a wall. And it's honestly kind of bizarre when it happens. God, it's these things. These little shits drain all your energy away. You need energy in order to fire your weapons. So good start. And you can't regenerate your energy while you're moving, so you have to basically just let go of everything and let your energy regenerate. Am I somewhere that... Yeah, I'm somewhere that I haven't been yet. So you got your 3 meters down the bottom left there. You've got your durability, your energy, and your shields. I've got a blueprint that lets me recharge my shields over time, which is nice. But you can also pick them up from resources in the field there. Seems like so far you can only repair your... Brain work with me here. Seems like so far you can only repair your durability when you sit down. So yeah, watch this. See, it just goes off screen and you have to scroll back up to read it. What the fuck is that about? And there's so many other little things like that too. Like, just to give you an example, I might not actually die during this video because the game is not that challenging. But if I just hit the W button here, see how I've explored parts of the map? If I die, those parts of the map stay explored on the map, but I still have to go do that content again. I still have to go open any containers. I still have to go repair boxes and generators to open doors. And I still have to kill the enemies there. But the map stays explored for some reason. I can't explain that one. Yeah, this one's going to be interesting. Leave them mine there. Tell them to go screw themselves. These bars can have shields too. And they have rockets and mines and a bunch of other bullshit. You gotta be careful. When your shields are out, everything else... Oh, well, when your shields are out, you start taking damage to your durability. And if your durability runs out, you die. Pretty simple stuff, really. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Here's my major problem with Carebotz, though. The physics are too forgiving. And by that, I mean that it is so easy to control your craft that the entire thrust side of things never really comes into it. Because you fall so slowly, and you can even, like, counteract it directly by just tapping and holding the down button here. See, I'm basically just floating in place. This is no challenge to me whatsoever. So the thrust side of things never really comes into it. The combat is easy until it's hard. And I know that sounds weird, but that's because with the combat, when you get attacked, you get thrown backwards, which isn't really that big of a deal. But if you get thrown backwards into a corner, you'll probably just die, because they'll just keep you trapped in the corner, they'll keep knocking you back, and eventually you won't be able to do anything. You'll just be stuck there, you won't be able to get out, and you'll just eventually die because of it. That's rare, but it's honestly quite annoying. And it makes the game surprisingly frustrating to play. So this game is kind of like a Metroidvania, except not really. You attack enemies via weaponry. You beat them in order to get to the rest of the map, which has things like containers, which will let you open them up for resources, which are money and blueprints. And blueprints are usually weapons or weapon upgrades, which you may then land on a landing pad in order to use. And that's pretty much the long and the short of the gameplay. You get those logs that tell you what's going on around the place. You're meant to be like a robot that's repairing this station, but like outside of just fighting off random enemies and reading these text logs, there's nothing to it. I know I'm only 20% of the way through the game, but the problem is the basic gameplay loops, whether it be the really simple flying around in this really easy to handle robot and only really dying when either the physics decide to have their way with me, or I just get unlucky with the certain puzzles. Just isn't that fun. Exploring isn't that fun because it doesn't seem like you'll find anything cool or exciting. It's just another chest with another randomly selected thing of blueprints. And I do mean random, because these containers and enemies can give you completely random stuff, right? It can give you a completely random set of stuff. I'm not even going to try and get through that. I'll probably just end up dead. It can give you just some completely random blueprints on one go. And then you'll come back, do it again. And you won't get any blueprints out of it at all. It's weird. They do appear to be, like, in a form of pattern. So if you do end up getting, like, a certain amount of blueprints, you'll always get the same amount of blueprints. I think it's set what order you get the blueprints in. But it's still just really simple stuff. Like, make your gunfire faster. Make your energy... I can't even see the rest of this log. It just stops. What's that about? And another gate. So I guess I have to go up. So now I've got that really annoying choice of, do I make my way back to the one repair spot all the way up there, or do I just go for it and hope I don't die? Let's see how easy these physics really are to handle. Blue beams get rid of your shields, orange beams get rid of your energy. Although generally they tend to do that a lot, which is just throw a bunch of these bloody enemies at you right after one of those things happen, and I'm dead. Right after they test you with one of those bloody things. And now I get to go and do all of that again. But I don't even get, like, the map to help me out, because see? I have explored it all. And it does even show me, like, where the things are I need to get, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Why do that? It looks like if we go this way, we're going to be stuck in a fight. Yeah, there we go. We have to clear out the fight. And you know what the annoying thing is? If you make, like, say, a certain set of changes to your build, like you swap out your weapon keys, you add a couple of upgrades here and there, they just won't work. They won't take. Even if you, like, land on the pad again to make the game autosave again, it just won't work. It won't save the game automatically. So when you die, you'll end up, Brandon, work with me here. So when you die, you'll end up respawning, and you'll end up having to do all those upgrades again. So it's not that interesting in terms of atmosphere. It's not the worst looking game, but it's very plain. So it's not good in terms of atmosphere. It's not fun in terms of second-to-second gameplay, because this ship is just sluggish and not really that great to control. It's not great on the map or discovery, and it's got a bunch of what feel like really easy to fix mistakes that just haven't been fixed. And I just can't help but wonder, like, what they were trying to accomplish, or at least I think what he was trying to accomplish, because I think this game was made by one dude. See, look, I don't even have my rocket launcher anymore because I technically didn't build it, despite the fact that I did build it. So now I get to work with this silly fucking boost again. At least in these areas here, when they lock you down and force you to fight a bunch of things, they leave a landing pad for you. So you can go land on it, heal up, and then just get back into the fight. But it also tends to mean that you have to wait like 50 seconds between each wave, when you can easily take them out in about 20. And they always tend to come from the same place, so it's like, do you really have to make me wait? I know what's coming. Huh, he didn't actually try and get through the wall that time. How odd. Yeah, we're done here. Let's try and keep this video relatively short. So yeah, that was Carebotz. There's just not really that much to like about it. It's a shame. I thought it sounded interesting. A Metroidvania with thrust-like controls. There's a lot of room to play around with that sort of concept, but it's just not that good. We'll be back when we start up Silverframe. Silverframe! No, this is how the game looks. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's this border all the time. There is so much that is weird about Silverframe, including the startup sequence, which has the logo for Adobe Flash in it, and it says Flash, The Last Dance. And even like on Steam, like, come here on Steam for a sec. I need to go to the collections view. Recent? Right here. What's this? What does this say? I can't see what this says. It says something in Chinese Flash and then something in Chinese again. This is the maximum zoom, by the way, so I can't even get it bigger than this to try and figure out what the bloody hell that's meant to be. But that's just where the weird stuff starts with this one. So we click enter and it loads up the main menu. Easy enough, but this is actually a brand new save because of the way the Starfields mode works, which is weirdly, because this game is weird. Have a look at the options menu. Here are your options: sound, background music, and windowed mode or full screen. This is what windowed mode looks like. And you were looking at it in full screen. So it's not even full screen, it's like 2/3 screen? And it doesn't even, like, stretch it. It stretches it a little bit. It's clearly not 1-to-1, but what? What is this game made on? I don't even... Alright, so you've got your controls. You don't have your controls because they're not working again. They're not working again. I started up this game before, and I went to the controls menu, or at least I tried, and it didn't work. And then I quit the game, and I restarted it. And then it worked? So let's, like, quit the game and reopen it again and see if it wants to work this time? See, there it is, Flash The Last Dance. And Phixcat, who is actually the developer. Oh yeah, we are galloping horses in the firmament. Lightning is the whip shadow in the eyes. Galloping is the way to go beyond nightmares. And then it starts with like a preview of the gameplay you're about to play, which is weird because, you know, you want to actually play it. But anyway, we're back here now, and the controls menu still doesn't fucking work. So, the Starfield, like, the versus mode is just one-on-one, and you pick individual machines for them, and, shit, mouse mode doesn't even work now. I was playing this on mouse mode, but now that mouse mode isn't working, I don't know what to do about it. So there is a story here. Basically, aliens invaded, the galaxy is falling apart, you gotta go around and make some money, upgrade your ships, and try not to die. More or less, and you just gotta walk around and they'll eventually like let you do like training battles and what have you, and then you'll eventually start running into actual enemies. And you spend money to upgrade your stuff, but now I gotta play with the weird ass keyboard controls again, which is bizarre. So, are you aware of a series called Macross, where they all ride around in gigantic mecha, but the mecha can transform? This feels like the Brigand Oaxaca of Macross. So if you double tap, no it wasn't I, it was O. Double tap O, and you go into the mecha mode. And if you double tap, I believe it was K? Now you're in the mode where you stay still and shoot at everything. Then you double tap the I key and you go back to plane mode. You've also got a double press key to dodge, but it happens way too often and is really annoying. And of course you don't have an option to turn that off. But you know what the weird thing is? Well, there's more weird on top of this, believe me. But the weird thing about this is that this game actually works really well once you figure out all the problems with it. The action is actually kind of exciting. There's a bunch of other weird shit going on. Like, I don't know how you spawn more enemy waves. There is a thing, like a radar that appears on screen that points you in the right direction. But it requires you to be pointed in the right direction, and the right direction can be awfully specific. And these keyboard controls are whack. Yeah, and this stuff basically pays nothing. You do kind of have to venture out in order to get, like, the good money. Also, these battles are definitely not lasting 3 minutes. But yeah, honestly, the actual gameplay here has the potential to become something really solid. The weapons are interesting to use. The sound effects are great. Like, he's done a good job on the space backgrounds here. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have fun while I was trying to figure out all the bullshit. And it isn't just like these useless AI drones. You can fight AI pilots that absolutely will kick your ass. They do include, like, guidebook things on the main menu that you can use as, like, a reference in order to do some certain things. But a lot of it's written in Chinese. Like, a lot of this game is localized into English, but not all of it. And sometimes the most confusing parts of it aren't localized into English. And that's the really disappointing part. It's clear that this game's got a lot of potential, but it doesn't seem to be able to live up to it. Not to mention there's some other really weird shit going on. For example, I can't say for sure how many of, like, these craft, like these enemy alien craft, are based off, like, real-world designs. But there's this particular craft called a UFSWX. And I thought, okay, that's kind of a neat designation. Then I got up close to it and I realized it was an X-Wing. UF, Star Wars, X-Wing. It's literally the outline of an X-Wing. So, yeah. I'm willing to bet the rest of the ships in this game are based off other designs. In that case. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Like, oh yeah, you get blueprints as well. Like, if we head back towards the thing here, we can buy stuff, we can sell stuff if we own it, but we don't own stuff that we can swap out. And sometimes this stuff is better than what we've got. So this is actually pretty good, but I don't have the money for it, unfortunately. And we can also come here and equip our units by changing out things like that. We can see the modes and the weapons that it has available to us. We even have the ability to get more ships, more blueprints, and have a full team of 4 complementing us. And I gotta tell you, man, for just an AI pilot that follows you around, it's actually more competent than you are half the time. It seems to magically know where the next wave of enemies is gonna spawn and head straight towards it. Oh look, SWT! And that is clearly a TIE fighter. Because of course it is. Dumbest fucking copyright infringement, man. You can't get away with it just by saying, oh, it's an SWT, so yeah, it's absolutely a TIE fighter. No, you can't do that. That's not how it works. Watch this. Like, if you press the V key, you actually get a view inside your cockpit, and like, it's not that much different from having the third-person camera, but it's still just a nice touch. And even then, one of these keys here, it's not the Z key. One of these keys here lets you do, rain. There it is. It's the V key. One of the V keys, like, you can play this game 2-player split screen. But if you don't have a second player, you can just watch the AI go about its business. It's just... It feels so old school. Like, this doesn't feel like something that you would do in this sort of development. It's also causing the game's frame rate to fucking tank. but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't neat. And you have a mouse mode too, but for some reason I just can't engage it. Although, weirdly enough, you have to buy a specific add-on for your ship to actually use the mouse in the user interface in the Starfields mode. Which is just... it's so bizarre! Why would you do that? Again, it's so many weird things. So many odd choices. On top of a genuinely interesting, really fast and surprisingly enjoyable space combat game with heavy Macross influence. And I just, yeah. It's better than it has any right to be. And yet it just does so many weird things. And there are plenty of different, like, things you can fly around too. Like, there's all sorts of different craft with different attacks and weaponry that you can get and install. Like, I played a little bit around in the free battle mode, and it's like, it does so many things that it's just interesting, and yet it just has so many weird things about it. Just polish. Polish, 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 polish. Polish it to high hell and back. Make it so that I can actually access the controls menu when I want to. Get rid of... actually get a proper English translator. Fix up some of the weird things you got going on. And this has the potential to be amazing. Like, it's genuinely really good just as a general space combat game with Macross influence. Like, let's just go to the free battle. So, I don't even know what to pick. Fair question. Give me the Raven S, Camp 1, Infinite Waves. We'll do the Sea Field, I suppose, no Mothership. And I'll be player 1. Then if we add player 2, we can have them be the AI. We can give them a Firefinch, and they'll be in Camp 2, and they'll be Infinite Waves. Then we can add some computer players. I don't know if this is just like a free flight thing or what, but... so we've got any bosses? Yeah, we'll just go with the Titan 1000. We'll go with some bugs. Those are one of the enemy factions. Gumball Q, apparently. Oh yeah, look, we can force some TIE fighters to come in. If we feel like it. No, okay, the AI can come with me. Then we'll have those two, and those three all working together. So it'll just be like absolute insanity from the word go. And it even lets you change up what the stage looks like. Which is just... yeah, like look, you can change like what planets are in the background and what the things are like, and you can even add things like asteroid fields, and we'll just launch. See what happens. Oh, something's going on. Where's the enemy? Over this way, apparently. Oh, that's a lot of bugs. You also have limited ammo and energy, so you can't just go wasting all of your ammo and all of your... see what I mean by these bloody double taps? They get so annoying. You can't go wasting everything that you've got. You gotta go putting in an effort of actually hitting and choosing your shots on the longer fights, especially against the aces, because they're often quite difficult to hit, especially since everybody's got energy shields. Also, the keyboard controls just kind of suck for this. Like, it's the J, K, and L keys to, like, fire... No, it's the J, L, and U keys. Like, it's just this weird mixture of keys on the right. U, I, O, J, K, and L by default. There is, of course, the mouse mode, which actually works for me now for some reason. Which has some slightly better controls. But it changes how you can transform your mode into something weird. You need to hold the spacebar and use the mouse wheel in order to transform into certain modes. Again, just one of those weird things that makes you think they really should get around to fixing this. See? X-Wing! I told you they had X-Wings. Honestly though, this game is more fun than it has any right to be. Absolutely needs polishing. And it does some really weird stuff. Like, even for a weird Chinese independently developed game, it feels like these decisions are just so fucking odd. No, that's not that. You have to press the escape key in order to get to the pause menu, which is also entirely in Chinese, and it also forces the game into into full screen mode again. But then when you're in windowed and you maximize, you get a pixel perfect window. Because why? I don't know. It's just weird. Can we get like just something that might actually like take some decent shots at me? So we'll try Saw, we'll try the solar work, and we'll try the firework. Instead of the X-Wings, we'll have a cargo ship. Why not? Oh, still in mouse mode. So yeah, there's our cargo ships. Also, why am I? Oh, there we go. Mouse mode in this game is weird. Yeah, but here come the boys. Look, he's just immediately off with the missiles and all the bullshit. It is certainly much harder to try and beat the crap out of one of these bastards. Also, the music is really generic. And it could do with having more than just, like, what appears to be flat shaded polygons? Except they're all white. I don't know what this is about. Oh, looks like I'm being... Oh, right, I've overheated. Right, I need to stop overheating before I end up dead. And look, the performance is just dropping like something else. So clearly this game is running on... Oh dear. I blew up. That's how difficult it can get. And yeah, the performance is dropping like crazy. I don't know why that is. Is this actually running in like Flash? Because if it is, I'd be very impressed. Also, the mouse isn't showing up. So I don't know how to get to the quick game options. What do you even say to that? What do you even say to that? This game is a mess. But it's also got a lot of potential. I can't think of any better place to end it off than that. So yeah, Carebotz, not very good. Silverframe, tons of potential, let down by some absolutely wacky crap. This has been Blue Maxima. I'll see you all next time.